Welcome back to this deciding game in this quarterfinal matchup between Counterlogic Gaming and 100 Thieves Academy. Teams have been trading wins back and forth, but now there's only one game left, as you heard during the break. That was Silver Scrapes. Now we've got to talk about a few of the players going through this entire series. First one up, Tuesday in the mid lane. We saw a few of those games on the Ori. The LeBlanc was ever so close to picking up multiple kills, and then we saw the Syndra in Game 4 really come into play for him.
Yeah, and there's kind of a clash of styles that has emerged with the side of Tuesday and Wiggly trying to take a lot of mid and jungle skirmishes in the early game to control Linsanity, who is much more focused on map plays, and that's what a lot of the early game revolves around. And on the LeBlanc pick, still playing aggressive, but kind of got outplayed a couple of times to give up some kills, and then ultimately the game. In that one, played the Syndra extremely well, dominated mid lane to the point where they were breaking that open at around 9 minutes with the help of his team. And it feels like that's what's going to continue to be a lot of the focus here now for both teams.
I don't think we will see much of, I wouldn't say anything of, but much of the same champion select as last time. I don't see Otto getting his Varus. I don't see that Syndra going back to Tuesday's hands this time. Pick for Rumble may go back top depending on what 100 Thieves has, but that was great for Fallen Bandit as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong pick that I wouldn't mind seeing more of. It gave this extra pressure up on the top side, and he was able to land some big equalizers. It's a good combination of the two strategies where you're able to secure some lane priority while still having very strong team fighting. And I think that's ultimately what a lot of these guys are going to want with their picks here. The LeBlanc indexing too far maybe into the laning focus compared to some other picks like a Syndra, who can still team fight pretty well, pretty safely from far away.
We'll see what that priority is. CLG has selected to be on blue side once again, kind of bucking that trend of where the victories were coming for in the early part of the series. So feeling good. Coming from the blue side, they're going to do it again.
It's very unfortunate for the side of 100 Thieves Academy, who chose to give up the blue side last game, get punished for it. Now it's hard to adapt because it's out of your hands.
Let's see what they decide. I think it was still Linsanity counter pick last time. We thought it would be Brandini, and then they chose him in. So we'll see if they counter pick differently on the side of 100 Thieves coming in here. But I have my eyes on this picks and ban. This was a Kindred last time from CLG, which did allow that Varus through eventually. Let's see if they switch it up.
Yeah, see, there's the Kindred again. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. There's a couple power picks that people have been using, but not seeing that much success with. Rakan being one of them as well. I think Rakan's 0-3 in the series, despite being considered one of the best supports, if not the best.
What is next? There's the Akali.
This will be the big decider, and it is the Varus getting banned back away. Otto had a pretty good game on that one, able to be pretty safe, all things considered. Once the map plays started coming in, and a mobile Varus got destroyed a little bit by the Galio Rakan combo, but still was able to contribute and set his team up later on in the game with some nice ultimates.
100 Thieves Academy looking at a Trundle again for Wiggly. Confidence and just kind of clear across the board play for him, and no trouble coming in once again on that champion. As the Braum is once again locked in, and we might just see that Ezreal.
Wow, and this is a big drop-off in the Rakan priority here. Not banned anymore, not getting picked by either team, actually looking for the Ezreal Braum, most likely. Still talking about it. Maybe they'll flex to something else. Ashe is still an option, but it will be the Ezreal. And this is what's always interesting to see within the meta of a best of 5. The Rakan not being successful for either team, and you start seeing these other priorities go flying up, like the Mundo, which was what was previously banned on red side by 100 Thieves.
And one of our first mismatches for Phase 1.
Yeah, one of the first times, actually. Great point. And this is huge for CLG Academy because we talk about Fallen Bandit's win rate with the champ, 8-10 in the summer season. And they got a beefy front line those first 3 picks to back up whatever will be supplanting that damage in the mid and bot lane.
See him take it back top. Graves for Levi if he decides to put a little bit of damage in the barrel. And he does. First phase is over. Let's see who gets focused. Tuesday and Linsanity have had Ori, Rise, Syndra, Galio. Will they decide to focus the mid and top lane of Brandini?
Gotta say, you're not too upset if you're 100 Thieves here, because Levi had a fantastic Graves game. Didn't really abuse the tempo advantage so much, as his lanes were losing, and it's hard to walk into a Trundle's jungle and bully him if the Rumble's going to get there first, if the Syndra's going to get there first. But he still did a good job of playing out a lot of skirmishes and getting himself quite fed. I think he ending the game around 7-3, but getting the rest of the team to back up around him.
He's getting close. He had 10 KDA, which is a clear win.
Yeah.
Make the stats happen.
It was the 3 losses, or the 3 deaths, meaning of course they're going to lose, or whatever the other stat was.
Yeah, can't reach that point, hinting. Malzahar banned out. Linsanity had an insane game on Malzahar, just being able to avoid a lot. Oriana gets taken away, so big focus on to Tuesday, knowing that Syndra made him feel confident last game. They hit him hard in the second phase with Ornn over towards Brandini, banned out.
And no surprise to see some of that mid lane focus, as Linsanity, while he does have a lot of good games, has usually come up on the short end of the stick in laning phase at least. Most likely going to get the counter pick again, as obviously top lane is already showing. And we will get a more lane focused counter pick here at 100 Thieves.
The Kennen makes it through. Brandini. I mean, maybe Linsanity, but Brandini in the top side.
Yeah, and I think the big question everyone's going to want to see is what keystone is coming with that one, because if it's the full AD Kennen split push, we will have a massive departure of the laning phase. Otto cheekily hovering the brand, which saw a random throwaway ban earlier in the series. But yeah, that's a very different strategy if it's going to be the AD. I expect it to be the AP Kennen, because so much of this game has come down to skirmishing and team fights.
Killer Instinct locked in with Kai'Sa. Otto back to that play for a second time in the series, while Tuesday now is going to try his hand at the Galio with almost no one to jump in on, except for that Kai'Sa's Killer Instinct.
Wow, pretty surprising to see this team comp out of CLG, a very large departure from the previous one where it was so lane focused. As, hold on there.
Are you gonna shove out the Galio? You're gonna shove out the Galio.
Not a very meta pick at this point in time, but always a large late game team fight threat. And there was a period of time where Ezreal and Nazir was one of the nastiest combos in the game to give up. Not quite the story anymore, but still a very potent 5v5 team comp. And yeah, CLG Academy not having strong early game means that it's kind of likely that if they don't pull off any great dives with the Galio ultimate, that we might get into mid to late game pretty easily.
I feel like this might be a Brandini split push, only because having that slicing Maelstrom and Emperor's Divide, a whole lot of mismatch on those ultimates, but anything can happen. We're gonna find out in 20 seconds how they decide to build that and what they choose for the Keystones as we're about to head onto the Rift for Game 5. Who moves on to the semi-finals? Told you, Mark, are we going to 10 today? We can bring it to 11. Turn it up.
I don't think you can do that.
No, you can't. That's all right. We can still turn it up, though. And we're going to see the coaches heading off stage as they leave the players. The last few words of wisdom. See who can come out on top.
This will be for all the glory for CLG Academy, or if Rikara still gets to say he's basically undefeated by CLG Academy.
Basically.
Did lose some games here, but it's all about getting that third W, and it's all come down to this final game. Best of one.
Best of one. What did I say a few games ago? It's like it's 0-0. Play it like it's 0-0. And that's what they have allowed themselves here for the 5th game. And we are going to be on to the Rift in just a moment. The players leave everything here until next week's semifinals. But who will be moving on, a 3rd seed CLG or the 6th place 100 Thieves coming into that playoff?
As we get into game, we do see that it is in fact the press the attack Kennen up in the top side. And so you are correct, this is looking more for a split push strategy. We have seen some more carry oriented top laners, but not committing to the split push. And like you said, with the Azir having a lot of wave clear, the Graves being able to contribute, Ezreal being relatively safe, it's not too much of a surprise to see them go for this. But they're going to have to be careful, because CLG's engage is not the best of all time, but they do have a Kai'Sa who is very high damage. So CLG is basically 4 tanks and a Kai'Sa. 100 Thieves, a pretty standard 4-1 split push, but with only a single tank.
Man, what if Galio could, like, half ultimate just by himself, right? Like, half knock up, half everything.
Just jump straight up
but
and straight
you
down.
Yeah, you can do it.
That'd be pretty broken. Interestingly here, Ezreal landed the Q and got a gold
Yeah, he
sack.
got the bag.
I'm surprised to see them prioritizing the pressure around the red buff. He got that a while ago. Might have been able to get it back, recall off with a pink ward. Sometimes people are able to go for that. Not going to be what he looks for here.
Doesn't even cash it in.
Just wants to show he has it.
Yeah. He's very frugal. So quick help here. Taking the damage? No, he let Wiggly tank it. Nice guy.
Fallen Bandit.
But they head towards top side, and we'll see if the harass comes right out of Brandini. You should be able to just add auto attacks right away. He starts W to get the passive Shuriken up. He uses that for farm, and he should start tagging away without taking too much damage here.
And this is a pick we have seen a number of times, the AD Kennen, but it definitely requires you to play up and aggressive in the lane. We saw a matchup between Haunter and Lorlo, where Lorlo just kind of sat back and tried to even farm, ate a little bit of poke, and then lost control of the matchup. And Brandini wants to hold down this Mundo, because if you ever fall too far behind him, he will run you over.
It feels so bad, especially, like, all they have to do is buy a health item when you haven't gone back to buy yet. And it just becomes so annoying if you're the Kennen. Keeping the lane relatively evened up here, but he uses the W surge there to clear it and start pushing it in.
Yeah, level 2 first, as well as just generally being the stronger trading champion.
Heck
does
yeah.
that. Levi onto the Scuttle Crab now. They did know that Wiggly started up on the top side. You saw some question mark things going down on that blue buff due to Fallen Bandit coming late in lane, as well as the bot lane having invaded and not spotting anyone on the red side.
Oh,
oh, that would have been a tilter.
Oh, man, I thought he was actually going to walk away from this. Interesting. He does get his raptor, though. Just a little mishap. He knows he can't go top. He was like, wait a minute, why is it going top anyways? Everything's clear. Krugs for him, double scuttle for Levi, as he figures that's probably what's going on the other side of the map. And Fallen Bandit's kind of gotten an idea ping.
Full HP. This is a slightly difficult
If he acts
dive
on that idea, though, level 4 Brandini doesn't decide to hit the turret first. He actually hits him with the E, so he gets a little bit of movement speed to get away from the turret, stays in for a few extra shots. Now it's up to Levi for the tank. One more hit on either. That could be a kill on a Levi, and they just make it out with a sliver of health.
Holy! Fallen Bandit played that one super well. Graves' bullets will be stopped by the turret, so make sure he keeps that between him and Graves as best as he can. Levi's not able to maximize his damage because he needs to use his first hop to get over to the far side of the turret. And then I think he was going for a wall hit on his Q to get the damage, but he missed it and shot it straight out, which allowed Fallen Bandit to flash out of the second part of the Graves Q, keeping him alive. And that was so close to not working out in his favor.
Yeah, a big yikes. And they get out alive, which is good. Only had to blow one flash as Brandini kind of set that one up pretty smart. Fallen Bandit playing it a little bit better. Good clear on the bot side, 36 to 26. As you can see, those minions there basically enough to clean up and even them up, but Rikara has a ways to go. Nice guy stun. Oh, one reached the turret. He'll get it anyways. Oh, auto actually stopped to come back. I like this. If your wave doesn't fully reach the turret, make sure it does. Just push it up there. You'll have time to back. You can see they're doing that now. Look at how oppressive that is. Just all the auto attacks over the set of minions. You can keep hitting Fallen Bandit. Now he's got to be careful when he uses that electric surge to get out of this situation too early, and he is dead to rights. Uses it right away, already taking too much damage, and he's just pushed up confidently. Wiggly takes control of that.
Really nice punish by CLG there. Brandini still has flash throughout that dive and was trying to play very aggressive, knowing he had that extra safety net, but wanted to try and use the minion wave to turn that potentially, but just not nearly enough damage to deal with the Trundle Red Smite early on. Gets pummeled down, and not a bad start for CLG Academy at all, given that this is one of their win conditions here, this topside pressure. Fallen Bandit regenning up, the minion dies, so is the one in the turret, so Brandini might have been looking to go down for a fat flash over the wall, but there was no minion there taking the turret, so all his little escape plans, while a nice thought, did not come together.
It feels so good, too, to have somebody under their turret like that. You get such tunnel vision. You're like, I'm winning. I'm doing so good. This is great. Oh, yeah, they have a jungler.
And to be fair, you know, we're talking about this is what the Kennen wants to do. It should be pushing up. But there wasn't enough vision control. They didn't know the Trundle was coming. And then not actually able to get the minion wave into the turret to try and do a tricky escape. Tuesday was also making his way up there. So very unlikely anything would have worked out. But, you know, 100 Thieves, definitely the weaker team fighting comp, you would say, just based off the AD Kennen. And the lack of frontline for 100 Thieves, but early shutdown on the split pushing Kennen is potentially a big problem here.
Very much so. Fallen Bandit now as well. Gets his Balmy Cinders in, so I'll have a little bit easier of a time pushing up these waves to see if he approaches them. So junglers back on their own sides. Top side for Levi, thinking, hey, my top laner's pushed up again. I may need to counter something up here as I clean my Krugs. He also has a red buff to get, so he could be up there for a little bit to help. Still, not too much vision there for Brandini. He says, I'll be safer. There he goes. He went to place it. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Brandini now respecting the potential threat, but already the first punish is in, and Fallen Bandit did get the kill there, so on his bomb, he sends her already to the double Doran's blade. We'll see if Levi can make anything else happen, because without the cannon...
No!
Uh-oh.
No! Electric Surge right next to your opponent never spells a good thing, and now he's going to start taking cleavers to the back side. One dodge in there. Flash is still being held, so he goes back aggressive. Brandini wants to stay in the lane. This Fallen Bandit starts flexing a few of those Mundo muscles.
Definitely would have got the flash if he was able to land that last cleaver there to keep him in range for some more auto attacks. But even the trade of ultimates is pretty fine for the Mundo, because your biggest concern is getting low enough and then getting all in underneath your turret and dove. Yep. And if you're taking away his ultimate threat, then you are kind of negating the likelihood that they can chain CC you underneath the turret. Now, during this time, 100 Thieves will answer with the Ocean Drake, which would be pretty useful for their laning phase here. But CLG making it work right now.
Control these objectives. Linsanity has been having a really good game. We always know Nazir from mid-ish to late game can really just completely turn a fight, scoop up a double or a triple kill. Still have yet to see much action through the mid lane, at least here in game 5 of the series. Blue is handed off over to Linsanity.
I think they actually messed it up.
They did, you're right. I actually looked over at my screen for a second and totally missed that they didn't get it.
Levi's like, I got you guys an Ocean Drake. That's about a blue buff. I'm going to take this one. Now we see Wiggly starting to pressure up a little bit on the top side around Brandini. And this is an interesting game because there's not much proactivity on the side of 100 Thieves Academy, as we see Mundo continuing to harass this cannon down.
I like that. Cleaver, auto, E-auto, and Cleaver again, just about up in time. That is some good cycle of damage for Mundo.
Yeah, and with the ult coming back up, he'll have the sustain most likely. Levi hovering behind. See if they try and go anything. No, he's just going to make sure no dive comes in because they've lost vision control up on the top side yet again. Now Wiggly's making his way up there too. We might see a 2v2 underneath this turret.
There was a ping on the blue buff. They might think he's actually cycling that over to Tuesday, but Tuesday's roaming up as well. Now a 3v2 situation if they decide to dive, but they don't know where Linsanity is. That may temper the aggression as they move up towards that top lane, and everything seems to fizzle out.
The aggressive side of me wanted to see that dive come through. The thinking side of me is like, you're negating the cannon split push already. You're doing a great job killing one of their win conditions. Don't blow it.
Right? Well, why try to tack onto that a little more? Keep the aggression you have. It's always good. You don't have to greed for something you already have. Pressure from Stun in the brush as they have a bit of control there. But also quiet here on the bot lane. We said that minion wave was something Rikara had to clear up. They've also added a bit of pressure now with the 13 CS lead down there.
Yeah, obviously Rikara going to have some nice power spikes on the Ezreal, the 1 and 2 item ones a little bit better. So Otto's starting to lose the lane a little bit. And this is, like I was saying, a little bit of a weird matchup where 100 Thieves clearly want to snowball around the top side. That's not working out, but it's not like, you know, CLG is being able to pull the trigger on anything else. Yeah. They have the Galio who wants to go to side waves, but don't really want to dive the cannon and potentially ruin everything that you've already done up there, and then your bot side doesn't have pressure. So it's leading to a pretty big stall out in the game right now. And of course, on the side of 100 Thieves, of course, they scale pretty well as well. Yeah. So even though you have better frontline and a really strong hyper carry Kai'Sa, the team still has Azir, Ezreal, and Graves.
And in their mind, they're thinking, well, we're not going to fight this CLG team later. We're going to try to split around it. So let them get ahead as they can. It's going to be tough. Hopefully we can side lane. Always easier said than done.
Always easier said than done, especially when Tuesday can follow up on Fallen Bandit if you are going for
very
push.
True. That global presence.
He can ult in there, and he has TP to get back out with Linsanity not really having any way to match. Maybe Rikara can match, but then you start getting into all those crazy TP shenanigans, because guess what? Otto's got a TP as well.
Just when you think there isn't something else, I've got something for that.
Hey, you want a Tom Kench ult 2 on top of that?
Oh my gosh. Killer Instinct, couldn't make it on my teleport.
Yeah, there's so many tools, you know, as we start talking about this, for CLG to try and stop the split push. That's already not really working out for 100 Thieves.
quick clear on the bot side with a Kathy and Rain, and Otto is safe under the turret. The F sword for him as he keeps building up that first priority item. Actually, Xerxes needs to start off for him as he rushed those first. In a 3v2 on the bot side, Phil says, I'm already kind of backed up here. Let's play this one careful. Small rotation, however, Tuesday has the inside line, but it looks like they're fighting Insanity in mid as the focus slowly stays on this bot turret. Doesn't look like they'll get it on this wave, but will they stay for the next wave? Yeah,
even though they have the inside track on the mid wave, they were trying to bait the Azir into following, but there are so many wards, 400 Thieves on this bot side of the map. They knew exactly where CLG Academy was. They knew they were not actually coming down to the bot lane and that they were doing that camp, so Azir didn't need to follow and the bot lane could keep pressuring the entire time. Now that turret down to around 10% HP. Getting pretty low.
Few more shots. Not right now.
There's no reason they got it back. They got the Ezreal stacking his tier with a Sheen. He's more than happy to sit in the lane and press Q
Fallen Bandit? Fallen Bandit just behind Linsanity. Oh, the chase onto Levi. They're off to the races for a moment there, and Fallen Bandit is kind of like a shortstop covering second base here as he comes down toward mid. Tuesday was rotating out. And it looks like they will be good to go with Rift Herald in mid. Phil's going to block off Stunt for a moment, or feel like he's getting blocked off. Yeah, still has to flash there with Linsanity coming over. They could get themselves in a bad situation here with what Phil was positioned in. Fired back, a quick hit from Tuesday gets himself back into a safe spot with that ultimate, and just a whole lot of back and forth. Nobody knew what the priority target was. And now it could be Levi. Stun's very low as well. Under the turret goes CLG, and down goes Levi. 2 kills in favor of CLG. A possible third. Auto flashes forward as Fallen Bandit also picks one up. 3 down for 100 Thieves.
What a strange team fight there by CLG. They felt the pressure in the bot lane, so they used the Tom Kench ult to try and swing mid with Wiggly having the Rift Herald to siege, but Phil was in a bit of an uncomfortable position, which baits a crazy, crazy fight. And Brandini thinks that they're doing just fine already defending and cancels his TP, chooses not to meet up. And as a result, they end up taking 2 turrets in the side lane for what all that happens in the mid.
I thought Phil actually like instigated this fight, and it wasn't in CLG's favor to start.
No, not at all. I think this was actually a big blunder by them as they are eating so many cooldowns. They push them back, and from here, it actually looks pretty good for the side of 100 Thieves, but they get a little bit greedy. Canceling the TP is the right play, but Stunt is not quite playing far enough behind the turret. They should really be sacking and be happy they got the bottom turret, and they're probably going to get the mid one. And instead, just being slightly too far forward allows CLG to take the rest of that turret. But I got to say, that did, like you said, look so good for 100 Thieves at the start, punishing that really forced rotation by CLG.
Wiggly just on the outside. We've seen this pressured multiple times throughout the series. Oh, the soldiers are up. This is what we talked about with the Azir controlling objectives. But CLG know well enough to not get too close just for an Infernal Drake. They're going to keep themselves safe on this. 100 Thieves pick up a bit more on the map, but CLG still control that map.
Yeah, a little bit faster of a reset there by 100 Thieves. Able to get onto the map first. The Azir wave to it.
Okay, a little too close for comfort there, and Wiggly finds himself going down immediately. Now a loss of pressure on the map. Brandini tries to get in to be that stun bot. Look at the auto attack damage coming through. One last flash forward from Brandini, and now he has Tuesday to deal with. Winds of War to come out, possibly close enough, but just on the edge of the hamster as he screams out of there.
Where was the Winds of War before that?
I was thinking that during the fight where they're standing still too.
Yeah, the TP channel time is long enough that I think even if he used it mid lane instantly before a TP, it would have come up before then. Either way, Tuesday holding his Q for some reason cost him a kill.
Yeah. See everything one more time. Wiggly saying Raptors are mine? Oh, mistake.
Yeah, that was the last Q Tuesday threw before he TPs back into this bot lane to try and cancel this insurrection out. No idea why he didn't do it earlier. Nice play by Brandini, using this brush pressure to get onto Auto. And then from here, it should be an easy kill by Tuesday. Nice combo, throw your Q. Throw your Q.
A stun that came through, he W'd.
Where?
For one fast moment. Unless he just felt like standing still.
That's what I'm confused about.
We will see. So 4-3 here just on 16 minutes. We still have 4 for Baron. We're getting a bit of a more action-packed game in this sense. Kills across the board. And mid-turret being set up with Sundisk as they get themselves ready to push that base forward and try and take down second-tier mid. Just about 1,000 gold lead in for 100 Thieves Academy.
Yep. All things considered, given the way the early game was not really moving in their favor and that big CLG play in the mid lane, they've done a decent job stabilizing, grabbing the extra Drakes, grabbing some turrets, and getting some solo kills now to the point that they have this lead. The Azir is starting to get online. The Ezreal's hit his 2-item power spike already, 17 minutes into the game. And Kennen has the Blade of the Rune King finish. Will probably struggle to pick off the Mundo from this point on, who has already gotten an item and a half of armor, but as long as he can kind of keep pressure in the side lane and maybe stop the Mundo from TPing in, or just allowing him to go and then punish if CLG can't convert on the play. Like you said, you just never really want a 5v5.
You can see just how menacing the AD Kennen can be. Let's see what happened here. 2, 3, boom.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and checked his cooldowns. They were up.
Freeze. He was just trying to swing.
I think what happened was Brandini dropped in the bush, and I think he was outside the bush, so he couldn't get another auto attack off, which is why he stood there, but not sure why that meant you couldn't press Q. Anyway,
you may never know.
That one kill probably not going to be the game decider if I had to bet on it.
Coming back to it, Mark.
That's all I want in the post-game highlight package, just that clip.
It came down to 40 damage.
No, not going to be the case here, as we've got a lot of game left in the final.
And it's still 1,000 goal, or just 1,000 goal difference, I should say. Minute and 45 seconds on to that Baron. We are playing by Mark's rules. If a team is on the map, you are not allowed to take such objective.
I hope to see some more restraint around these teams. There's Infernal Drake up next. It's going to be another couple minutes before that thing really spawns onto the map. So, hey, take it slow, farm your waves, fight for vision control. If someone's out of position, use that Tom Kenchall, the Galio to look for pickoffs, but don't do it around Baron buff in a minute and a half.
Quick clear out in the mid lane to provide some breathing room. Looks like CLG is stick together at this point, though. Any hits, any engages could be a quick death. It's like Fallen Bandit feels like taking a 1v1, however.
And both Brandini, or excuse me, Fallen Bandit super strong right now with the Warmogs complete as well. He can eat as much harass as he wants in the side lane and regen that up. Lickety split. Oof. He's just been such a beast on Mundo all split long. Huge performance from Spring Split, and that kind of applies to everyone on CLG. They mirrored the main roster towards the end where they went on about a 6-game win streak, but it wasn't a 6-game playoffs back right.
Should be good. Frozen Domain actually may give him that pillar length. They decide to back off, even with the Mundo ult going down. 20 seconds left on to that Baron, so if they expend too much here, that'd be a difficult fight.
Yeah, luckily not too much burn there. Not the Kaisa coming in.
Oh! I felt that here. Oh my word.
How much damage do you lose from hitting a creep? Because there was one minion that blocked a little bit of
CS though.
That's good to see. I was super close. I wonder if, you know, that one minion that blocked it would have cut enough damage off the ultimate. Either way, though, this is forcing recalls at awkward times for CLG as the Baron buff's about to spawn in 30 seconds. So 100 Thieves will get the drop on them, able to secure vision, and then force CLG to walk into this Azir, which is kind of difficult to do.
A little bit of participation from everybody here on the side of 100 Thieves. Full participation by Fallen Bandit. 3-0-1 on that Mundo. Wreak havoc. Now they just need to figure out how to use that pressure without it being on Tuesday, or I should say auto. Somebody that can push forward becomes hard to use. So much cash money. That's Levi's Infernal Drake, and now they are 3 strong. We haven't even seen a game really get to the Elder Drake situation, but they're making a good story for it.
Yeah, this is an instance that's really good for 100 Thieves Academy. We're talking about, yeah, they don't have a front line, but they got a lot of damage. You know, Infernal Drake's the perfect buff for that because it amplifies bonus AD and AP, and if you're a bunch of tanks, kind of like CLG is, they're not going to be able to use that effectively. Obviously, they want to keep it off.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! What a steal. I'm heading over here. Hang on. Yeah. Wards. They have a blue-pink ward on that. So he just fired true.
Yeah, just thought they were going over there. Maybe had the timer on it from a previous invade. Nice snipe away by Rakara. And like I was saying, a little bit more advantages for a very high damage team comp with 2 Infernal Drakes. They might have a chance still, even though the split push isn't really working out. do have the gold lead.
Those little things feel great. Kind of put a smile on the rest of the team, too, for a moment. And say, nice, you got it. You know, we're kind of tacking on the little things here, especially when there's nothing to really be done in the game. Oh, Killer Instinct just out of range. And they didn't know where the rest of the team was. Would have been pretty greedy to take that, but we all want to see it. Couldn't do the damage for the fights. 4-3 has been on that scoreboard for quite a few minutes.
With the Azir there, it's very scary to engage too far and get pushed back underneath the turrets.
It is true.
Otto's going to have to show a fair amount of strength this game to make sure he doesn't have one of those moments.
Yikes.
Riccara is being a bit of a sniper this game, landing the chunk onto Otto in the mid lane, forcing him back and kind of getting his team the Infernal Drake, then stealing the blue buff, and once again, just chunking out whoever's opposing him in the mid side.
He's got the potions, but he doesn't really have any lifesteal just yet. So Otto's going to have to stick with that damage. Brandini going for the execute. Will he be able to make it? No one's in base. He'll get Lightning Rush before Fallen Bandit gets there again. This is going to be the fastest back in the West. Oh no, he's going to stay alive. He's going to play, no. Fastest back in the West. Stun almost goes down. Unbreakable goes up as the Glacial Fissure also comes out. So a few heavy-handed ultimates used in defense here by 100 Thieves, but it doesn't look like they have to give up too much pressure just yet.
That's one of the weaknesses of their team comp here. They saw the enemy team hard commit onto the split-pushing member of Brandini. They try and start Baron buff to kind of bait them in and force a fight, but they only have stun.
Oh my word! In goes Otto. Can he put enough of those down for the damage? Unbreakable for stun, keeps himself alive. And CLG pulled a trigger. True Shot Barrage coming back through. It's kind of like getting hit with a LeBlanc right now. There's not a lot of lifesteal on the side of CLG, so these front-end shots you take from that True Shot Barrage are really changing CLG's mind.
Yeah, they're trying their best by CLG to make things happen on the map, but everything is just coming up blank. The play on the bot side is a good idea that Brandini outplayed. Then 100 Thieves want to force onto the Baron buff, but a little over-eager as their comp's turn is pretty weak. And so CLG was able to bait that out. And then when they try to go for the re-engage, just barely get kited out by this pretty slippery 100 Thieves comp.
Now pushing forward, feeling confident. Morello Namicon, Nash's Tooth finished up. That Executioner's Calling in Brandini's inventory was picked up second, so he could start really putting the hurt onto Fallen Bandit in his ultimate. And now he's working on that Sterix Gauge Rage so he can get big if he does get in a 1v1 fight and last a little longer.
Let's see. Could also be the Frozen Mallet. Hard to say.
Oh yeah, you're right, because he has a giant spell. Call.
We'll have to see as there's some vision control going down around Baron. Wiggly. Ooh. That Q lands might have been in trouble. No flash available for him.
Ooh. I don't know if they want to do too much. More Mogs, Sunfire Cape, Ramble Vest finished up for Fallen Bandit. He is gigantic on that side. It looks like a little bit more damage for Tuesdays just on the horizon. Ooh, he's sitting at 1,400 gold right now. Just has to go back. Sundisk out again as 100 Thieves kind of advance their base forward. Now have a chance to fight out in the middle of the rift and hold that position for a moment. See how CLG reacts.
Yeah, we do see Arnold kind of on the side. There's also some question mark things going down onto Fallen Bandit, who's making his way up into the mid lane, but no, he just wants that Scuttle Crab. Hit that pink ward.
Give him my gold.
Trying to stop them from being able to siege up, because this is what the Ezreal Azir comp can do so well, especially with the turret to back them up.
So is this now top side? No, back bottom side, so they can teleport in. I was just wondering where the push would be. I think Insanity might take care of that, or Levi as they clear these wards out. Mid lane getting a little bit aggressive here as they're going for a two-man. They feel like they can hold the turret, so kind of actively a third member here for Riccara and Stunt. Stunt's going to try and knock Tuesday just a little bit left and right as they make their way to Baron. And they have to wonder, is it still being done as they're pressured into that situation? Now seeing more members of 100 Thieves, they can figure it out and have Fallen Bandit still pushing that bot lane.
Very cute idea by 100 Thieves there. You have the turret to keep them pushed up a little bit more and make it an awkward path to contest the Baron. And then you only do it with two people anyways, so they think maybe they just didn't for some Baron control.
So close.
CLG grabs Baron during that time, or bot lane turn, excuse me, during that time.
Over towards mid, 294 to 265 as Riccara. Getting that Ezreal now, was it 3 times for this series?
Yep, I believe this is the third game. 1, 3, and 5 on the Ezreal. the games they played them. Yeah. Those are the games they won as well.
And he has not died very many times on it. He's got a pretty good KDA throughout the entire series, if I can recall. Here, a little low on the kill score as we're 4-3. That happened all very, very early in this game. Now both teams are quite tempered in their positioning, trying to take something without greeting too much. There's the initiation, but Otto wants in. They're going to do Hero's entrance in for Tuesday as he is right on top of Stunt. Stunt goes down, wins the war into Ricard as he has no more distance. Yeah, there's the arcane shift to get him in the spot. And now he's over the wall with Flash, but Fallen Bandit chases. Slicing Maelstrom goes down to stop Fallen Bandit in his tracks, but the rest of the team is trailing. The cavalry for CLG is just on the heels of 100 Thieves, and they are still able to chomp down on 100 Thieves members. 2 down now as CLG go for Drake.
CLG able to force the engage in the mid lane. Brandini did not want to teleport over, hoping that they could disengage it, but as soon as the Braum dropped, that's the only frontline member for 100 Thieves, and that forced them to go down. Hold on here, we got a tricky thing coming. Teleport into the top side, but 100 Thieves is already making their way up there. It does get canceled as a result.
Looks like they will not want to use that. I believe it was Tuesdays. We'll be back to having that. As he teleports back, we'll see this fight one more time. What a snap judgment by CLG.
Yeah, they just go as hard as they can, thinking that Otto won't be able to get cleaned up. And as long as they kill the frontline member here, there's a really hard time for CLG to be able to tighten this down. Fallen Bandit, a complete menace to backlines right now, has the hourglass as well to make sure he can get some extra regen up there. And he goes absolutely huge in this fight to get the last couple kills for the rest of his team. And you see the problems that 100 Thieves have is, yeah, they can maybe disengage the first attempt by Otto and Tuesday, but then Fallen Bandit and Wiggly can continue to run forward afterwards unperturbed because you've already got the kiting tools out of 100 Thieves.
He's doing almost the most damage in these fights besides Ricard, who has amplified damage on like just each one of his shots. That's crazy. 3-0-3, allowed to get it again, and they come in strong with that Mundo, with the Trundle, and basically switch up the phase 1 of picks to not match 100 Thieves, saying it's what we want, and we'll take it to the victory.
Yeah, and you see him idolizing super heavy into health and armor. I really like this decision because the cannon is hybrid damage, but your health will deal with the AP, and then you have the physical for the... Hold on, here's Wiggly's a little bit out of position.
The teleport coming in as well. This is going to cut off half of the team. 2 TPs as Fallen Bandits just on the other side, slicing Maelstrom to come out immediately and stun down CLG. But where is Brandini after that one? They lose Phil. 1-for-1 in the fight now as they're trading back and forth. In goes Linsanity and out goes Wiggly. He'll fall right after in that retribution kill for CLG. And now in the 3v3, Fallen Bandit feels like he can stand tall. Executioner's Calling isn't in the fight, but there's still enough damage to follow up coming in from Ricard. They're not able to take him out just yet. Killer Instinct coming in from Otto, and he finds a few more for the triple kill.
Otto is alive in this series, gets the 3 right there, gets the ace, and with the Galio alive, probably has the tankiness and damage needed to be able to secure the team. His Baron buff as well, after a fight that started with Wiggly playing the long con on a bait.
What a back and forth. The undecided TPs into a double TP towards the side of the map. I just said there weren't a lot of kills at 4-3. Mark, now we're at 11-6 in just the next few minutes, and Baron is going to go over to Counter Logic Gaming. They wait for a few more members to spawn, rightly so. Get back out on the map. Let's see it all again.
And the big part about this fight is even though it starts really well for 100 Thieves, you have an AD Kennen ulting and TPing into the middle of a fight. It just doesn't do anything. He dies instantly for free. I mean, this does keep them in place for them to be able to kill Phil, but that's just the support you've traded your top laners for. And a nice attempt by Linsanity, but misses the scoop on Otto. It was the right idea. If they could have got him, they probably win that fight. But because Otto was able to survive that one, even though Fallen Bandit's ult times out and he has to be careful about continuing to chase forward, everyone else is so low, and Tuesday has another target. I mean, Otto has another person who can provide frontline for him, so Tuesday can go in and be the big blocker in there, allowing Otto to get the triple kill.
So many things happening in that fight. We saw actually Ricard there. Arcane shifted into a Justice Punch at the end. It's like, whoops.
Yeah, that was a bit of an oopsie, but I think it just comes down to 100 Thieves. Team comp being not very good at forcing these fights.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could have gone better for them in that, so I'm not saying these are unwinnable, but Brandini cannot go for TP flanks as this cannon build.
Everything else the team wants to do requires them to go in. Linsanity has to be in the Emperor's Divide. Stunt has to be in. Ricard can stay on the back, but you're right, you can't all be in.
Yeah, and especially not without a Zanyos or any other real defensive tools. Frozen Mallet's nice, but it's not going to keep you alive versus the team comp CLG has. And Auto going with that AP build as well. No frontline really to worry about maximizing stacking MR, so completely fine that they have a lot of magic damage on this team comp for CLG Academy. With this Baron buff, kind of holding mid with 2 while the 3-man in the top side finally starts pushing this down. Gold League's still super close despite that decisive fight, and Baron take a minute and a half left on it, and they're finally starting to break turrets down.
That's doing a little less damage now. Yeah, True Shot Barrage just tickling CLG on that top side with their Baron Duff minions. And what play so far? 100 Thieves working on CLG's backs to get 2 Infernals and an Ocean. CLG working around the map to make sure they get the kills and the structures over those Drakes. Still 1 Infernal to their name, but their focus is on taking the map control constantly these games, and it's really been in their favor. A few more hits here as Auto just dodges out on a Winter's Bite, and they're waiting for another wave.
And I would love to see what CLG do with it from here. They were playing super aggressive every time they got a Baron buff in the other games. They have a minute left to break that top inhibitor. They finally forced 100 Thieves under their own base, and they have the Galio who can potentially ultimate up into that. We'll see if they decide to try and pull the trigger a little bit here.
Definitely a pivotal ban on that Kindred over the last few games. 100 Thieves has not had the same fight prowess that they were finding before. With that little extra time buffer going down, quickly slicing Maelstrom in, but they turn around. No follow-up from the rest of the team, so that's quickly called off with the flash and ult. Coming in, turret's not going to fall though. So much chaos. The CLG is just kind of sitting back and saying, there's another one. There's another. Oh, all right, we're absorbing a lot of what they have. And they're going to get what they want, possibly. True Shot Barrage now comes out. Phil, a shield on top of shield to keep the Tom Catch alive as the inhibitor turret falls. Levi damage down to half. Killer Instinct is in, so they can get the hero's entrance for Tuesday. He brings it in, and they're going to send 100 Thieves back a week. Stunt's going to be taken down. 100 Thieves getting pushed onto their fountain as the heist is being thwarted here in the quarterfinals. CLG knowing they may be taking off and biting a bit more than they can chew, and they head out before the greed strikes.
Almost found that game-ending fight right there. Tuesday had a massive taunt, but they could only find and finish off Brandini, and the very strong backline of the Graves, Azir, and Ezreal able to stay alive and force them out of the base, but it does feel like the door is shutting on 100 Thieves' playoffs hopes.
Just a few more minutes and we have our longest game of the series. It just goes to tell you how fast each team was able to bounce back. 27-minute game, 25-minute game, 30-minute game, 35-minute game, and now we're here just passing that 35-minute mark as both teams playing with a little bit of that not want to lose factor, but also some good tempered aggression. We'll see this top fight again.
And I like how CLG is willing to put things on the line while getting objectives and not just dancing around these turrets. They walk forward, they go in. Otto wants to follow up on Levi, who's used a lot of his escapes, but he understands that he's about to get pinned against the wall by Linsanity. He doesn't want to risk getting killed. That nice taunt is almost going to be able to clean them up, but Tuesday sends the Winds of War towards Brandini and Stunt instead of Levi and maybe killing him. As a result, they only killed Brandini, and it's too hard for them to chase forward after that. But still the play that they needed to make with what was left of their Baron buff, breaking the first inhibitor, and it really, really stalls out any hope for split pushing that 100 Thieves might have still had, which they probably shouldn't have had very much because it was not working at all this game.
Just looking at the attack speed, 2.2 for Kennen, almost there to max as he builds up more. Right, he does not have a chance to create as much pressure on the sideways though. Nobody's really worried about what Brandini's going to be doing here. They have to worry about where CLG has all 5 members. We said that 100 Thieves wanted to avoid the fight. It's almost impossible now.
Something that 100 Thieves might have a little bit of reprieve until the next Baron buff comes up, and maybe CLG plays slow from then. But it's still feeling like complete control for CLG Academy here. And the Kaisa pick made it to late game at 4, basically 5 items now. Yeah, prioritizing the damage, which I think is a really intelligent thing to do. There's not much threat about diving in and killing him, so he doesn't need a Zanyos or anything like that you see a lot of Kaisas go early on. He just wants to be able to go in there, have the Galio ult come out, and he'll just deliver the Galio and can use his E attack speed stealth from Supercharge to avoid any kind of repercussions for that.
See both teams getting out the locket. Don't see those too often anymore. definitely getting that extra bit of shield on getting burst down on the initial damage. Also being able to avoid Ricara's true shot barrages a little bit, but for both sides, good to see that both teams can get a little bit of extra money in. It always becomes so lopsided when, oh, now they have a shield. Oh, now they have Quicksilver sashes and GAs. You just don't have as many tools to fight with. Flashes, those are up on both sides. Autos is down, but he still has a good bit of movement speed with his steroid on skills. 13 seconds for that Baron. See, Mark, if it can happen.
Yeah, we'll see if 100 Thieves wants to kind of hard commit for it. They did get the vision control down for themselves. This CLG was recalled in the base, but with 4 tanks, it's pretty easy for them to reclaim territory and kind of charge into the unknown just fine.
Ooh. Riccara saying, here's a few bits of damage, doing at least 500 to 700 damage across Fallen Bandit and Tuesday. They're still tanky, so it doesn't look too bad, but he is able to spit out the DPS, and now they're onto the mid turret. Sung Disc set up on the side of CLG in mid lane.
They're forced a long way, though.
The strength, yeah, is there for 100 Thieves. Now they can breadcrumb ward all the way up to Baron, knowing the path that CLG is taking and getting a fight that they want. But can they mechanically outplay CLG at this point?
Yeah, I mean, they have a good idea of what's going on. Like, Riccara knows that if Otto is not there to punish him, he can basically shift somewhat aggressively at most of the frontline members and not get punished for it. But he has to be very aware of where Otto is in these fights, because he's the one who's really cleaning up on kills.
Nice dodge there, but they went in on stunt. Killer Instinct used for the hit onto the support. And now it's just to see if they can get the Akathian Rain to do as much damage as they wanted. Plasma missing on that. There was no connecting from Otto. He is staying at a very safe spot right now. Looks like they want to move forward. Glacial Fissure is back a lot in defense for 100 Thieves. And CLG really turning things around from their playstyle in Game 1 to have confidence and consistent initiation throughout the rest of the series. And we're seeing it here really give 100 Thieves trouble.
Yeah, but they're actually going to be recalling right now as they have the most pressure that they're going to have in the top
That's
wave.
A great point.
By Brandini. So he has to go back and answer this wave, but the rest of CLG is also in the base, so they're not going to be able to abuse this and start off the Baron buff. And I wouldn't mind seeing 100 Thieves now with their inhibitor respawn. Go for a bit of a risky play here, because it does feel like the game is slightly slipping away from them. I mean, the goal
they go against your Baron call, Mark?
I mean, it's 39 minutes, and it's quite a bit later than my suggestion. If they ever find themselves at that mid-priority advantage like we saw in that previous situation, where you're talking about that breadcrumb trail that they can do, I wouldn't mind seeing them just hard commit. You have a ton of damage to try and burn it down. And you have to be worried about CLG collapsing and blowing everyone up in the pit, of course. It's still a risky call, but if you allow CLG to just kind of grind you out, it does feel like they have control of the game.
A lot of inventories here for 100 Thieves are stacked with items, which means you lose vision wards. Yeah, you have 2 on Levi and 2 on Stunt. They don't have much map to play with, but that does hurt a little bit when you're trying to stop a snowball, trying to stop flanks. CLG could find a way in through those insufficient ward spots. Stunt, hit, no wonder you see Otto going in so much on that auto attack, or I should say ability. Now they sit mid until someone makes a mistake, and the sideways push in their favors. Top in favor of 100 Thieves, bottom pushing in favor of CLG.
Yeah, good use of the AP Kaisa poke to get them advantage, and now they are hard committed on the Baron buff. They're doing it super quick with a passive proc from Otto.
Here it is. Can Levi get himself into range? As Graves, you got to get close. You got to make it happen. Kill for Wiggly onto the Baron. Levi goes down to 100 HP immediately. Hero's entrance in from Tuesday, and CLG are sitting pretty to deliver the damage on this fight. In goes Otto. Out goes Linsanity. And now they're going to do the finishing touches. Stunts on the backside. Otto in for a triple. A quadra and a penta in his eyes. He's going to be brought forward from the Abyssal Voyage. Looking for the last shot. Tuesday's Winds of War picks that up, but the quadra still ready as the team is going to be heading into the base or to bot side. Riccara doing what he can, standing alone to stop CLG.
Gonna need a miracle out of Riccara to stop this game from ending. They TP to the bot wave. They have double cannon creeps up already.
Oh my word, half his HP going away. True Shot Barrage just hitting the tail of Tom Kench as Phil stays alive. And CLG, the 5 rookies push through 100 Thieves, a 5-game series, and the victory for Counterlogic Gaming Academy.
Could not ask for a harder entry to playoffs for this rookie squad, but they stand up to the test of the 5-game playoff series and come out on top.
Dude, my heart, I just felt my heart when we were ending.
Series until the final final 2 games. Each team won one, and then the other team would win one, and you can see the elation on their faces of winning that one.
Absolutely crazy. You can see Otto holding his heart there for a moment as they got off. And they're all kind of composing themselves like, oh yeah, we won, let's cheer it out. Because it was just that crazy. Back and forth, and that's the best way I like to see it. It wasn't like, oh, the comeback story is always cool when somebody's down 2-0, but to back and forth, the way that they beat each other in the 25-minute games to say, I can do that better, I can do that better, makes it a great series. Yeah,
definitely the case where they had to go back and forth, and a lot of CLG staff and players here. All the main rosters in attendance, most of the staff for CLG is in attendance, and all of them giving their love to the Academy roster.
Very cool to see the rest of the team down on the floor. And you're right, giving that love through. It takes a long time, and obviously you got to know that a lot can happen in the game. You have to play what you set out to do. A lot of teams in the early stages can say, oh, it's not working, we have to change an audible in the middle. Not this time.
Yeah, I think Fallen Bandit kind of the linchpin for that game. The fact that he was able to get the Mundo again into a matchup where he should get pressured early and outplays the first dive to keep himself alive, which then set him up to be able to get the counter kill on a counter gank later on. And that was kind of the end of the Kennen in this game. And you saw how close it was. The rest of 100 Thieves grabbing a lot of Drakes. A very hard-fought game. You can feel how close these teams are. And unfortunately for Rikara, that streak comes to an end.
It does. 8 straight games, he said. So that one's going to get hit up, and there were a few losses in there. So now that's just an all messed up stat for him. But coming through, we heard a lot of what Tuesday was saying, that, and the rest of the team for CLG, that a very mechanically strong prowess team in 100 Thieves in every lane. And we should be able to do that as rookies, too. And that's what they did. They stepped up today. And we'll have to see what they can do moving forward. It's Cloud9 or Team Liquid that they're going to have to do it even better against.
Yeah, they're the 3rd seeded team, so I think that means they'll play number 2, which is Team Liquid, who they went 0-2 against in the regular season. So they'll have another streak to beat, I guess.
I just heard as well, C9 gets to choose their opponent.
Oh, so maybe they'll end up picking them.
Yeah.
We'll see, because FlyQuest, another hard-fought 5-game series, but didn't quite have the decisiveness to end games quite as quickly as these teams were doing.
For sure. So to hear more on that CLG victory, let's check in with Avali and the victorious bot laner.
Thanks, guys. Otto, congratulations on that win. First thing I want to ask, you popped straight up out of your chair after that victory, and you started yelling something with your teammates. What were you saying?
I was probably not safe on here to say, but, you know, I was super excited. You know, that I was, like, composed the whole series, actually. Like, playing on stage was I wasn't as nervous as I thought, but like once I realized the game was over, I just listened to my heartbeat. It was just like pounding, and there's this like excitement. You know, it's been a long series, and you know, I just let it all out then.
And I mean, games 4 and 5 the fights got especially bloody. So what really flipped the kill switch on for you guys?
We just talked about like how we want to fight, like what do we want to do. The last game they had like a poke comp Ezreal Azir, so I ended up having to like ulti into their backline so I can deliver my Galio. So it was pretty scary, but you know, we just talked it out like, okay, this didn't work out. What can we do next? And it worked out in the end.
It worked out and you took the win. Now coming into this match, you were putting out a little bit of trash talk, but it looked like 100 Thieves Academy actually gave you guys a run for your money.
Yeah, I think we came in with a game plan and it didn't quite go as expected. You know, we reconned like 2 times and we lost both those games. So, you know, props to them. They played one hell of a series. So it was first time on stage. It's really fun, actually. Like, we play, I think, Liquid next. So I can't wait to play that match as well.
Potentially Liquid or Cloud9. I believe Cloud9 chooses who you guys play against. But speaking to that, who do you think Cloud9's going to choose to play against?
Probably FlyQuest. I'd assume so. I mean, if they pick us, then hopefully it goes to Game 5 and the series delivers as well.
Hopefully it goes to Game 5. Otto, thank you and congratulations. Back to the casters.
That's so great. It's not even for the team. It's for us to go to Game 5. I love that.
Yeah, and just
like, I don't win. It's just going to be a good series.
The amount of excitement on the first stage playoff series that he's played. You could just hear that he was like, I was wired, my heart was going crazy, and I think that's the kind of enthusiasm you love seeing out of the younger players in the scene.
Gonna have to get a defibrillator up there. We'll have an interview with Wiggly in just a moment here, but first let's break down the game as it was. Starting at 13 minutes in, the CLG 3-for-1 in mid, and this is capitalizing on a bit of over-aggression, but also a fight they instigated.
And this is kind of after the stabilization by Fallen Bandit had come in. They were losing their bot lane. They tried to make a roam to the mid side, but they get caught out in rotation, and it makes 100 Thieves think, okay, we've got them. We're forcing them back, and then a little bit too far forward. They still have Otto with all his cooldowns, able to drop a ton of damage. Fallen Bandit still has his ult as well, so he's able to take up a ton of the turret, and then they trade the aggro from then on, able to finalize those 3 kills. That gave them the lead in the early game, but it wasn't like that was going to stick around for very long.
Nope. And we move up to 29.5 minutes into the game where CLG take that 5-for-3 and top. It was getting so crazy, and this led to that Baron objective.
And this is where you can tell just the advantage that the CLG comp has in the 5v5. Brandini as the AD cannon, just not able to do anything, instantly gets popped. They do get the return kill onto Phil, but then after that, Fallen Bandit can kind of just stand in the front side and absorb so much damage while Otto barely living through that scoop attempt by the Azir ultimate when Sanity had the right idea but couldn't find him. And then here, Fallen Bandit just being that tank, getting more and more damage onto himself. They trade that back off on the Tuesday, and Otto being able to stay unfocused the entire time because there's always a closer target for the enemy to hit.
Such a strong position on that backline. I loved when he said, I don't know, we had to figure out something to do, so I just kept ulting in for my Galio. That is a bot laner.
I mean, that's what's really cool to hear about, because that's exactly what they needed to do. That was their main engage, so Trundle's not going to go in. Tom Kench isn't going to just ult in by himself. So, you know, they figured out that, like, they don't have that much lockdown CC, dude. If you just take the ult in, get the Galio ult, and then kind of back out, it'll probably work, and it can be pretty scary to press that button.
Absolutely. The fights were scary. We'll bring up that final one on the screen and just see how quick they were able to make it happen.
And this is a situation where Brandini gets fully zoned away from the fight, trying to hop onto Tuesday, but instantly Tuesday scoots out of there. And then Otto goes in for the assassination onto the Azir. And that's the big part of why they're able to win this game right away. For the previous fights that have been taking a long time for them to win, Rikara and Linsanity had mostly been staying alive during this fight, but he landed a big W. You see how much those are dealing as the AP Kaisa. Landed one onto Linsanity, instantly killed him, and then cleaned up the rest of the fight as the primary carry in that 4-tank comp.
Man, we also saw that damage from Rikara. He was kind of putting a little bit of that work behind the words he brought into the game today, with almost being able to pretty much 2 or 3 shot people, but not a lot of follow-up there. The ground had to be worked on if that damage came through, and they were kind of left to fizzle out in those plays. Right now, we are going to send it down to Obli for our next interview.
Thanks, guys. Wiggly, congratulations again on the win. I want to ask you a little bit about kind of putting the team together and recouping after a couple of losses to pull off the series.
Yeah, well, we played Lee Sin like 2 games in a row, and it was kind of winged. Like, I hadn't really played any Lee Sin in scrims or anything, and I just decided to try it out. And the first game, I kind of inted early game, but we ended up pulling out the game, so we were like, oh, maybe this is like working out for us. And then second game, they did, I think, Malzahar Kindred, and I didn't have a fun time, and I was just like, yeah, let's just make this game a little bit more standard so we don't have to make it super volatile. So we just banned the Kindred so I could pick Trundle, and yeah, and then we won.
And before the cameras came on, you kind of mentioned that you weren't super excited to be playing on Trundle, but what kind of champions do you think you can carry with?
Well, you can carry on Trundle. It's just in a different way. Like, he has pretty strong early game, but yeah, late game, you're just kind of an ulti bot, and you just hope to God that your Kaiser doesn't run it down. And luckily, Osama, first time he didn't do it. No, just kidding. No, it was fun.
And best of fives are kind of a newer thing to Academy teams. So what was really keeping you guys focused and keeping you guys motivated throughout the series?
I don't know. I think everyone was just super like ecstatic to play. Like, everyone except for me on my team, it's their first time playing on stage. So I think everyone was just in the moment, like super like just focused on each game, game by game. We just didn't really think of it as a series, more of just one game at a time. So I think that's kind of how we dealt with it. So.
And coming into this game, there's always been this huge spotlight on Levi playing in Academy, but you got to play against him today. So what was he like as an opponent?
I think he played okay. Like, I think on his comfort champions like Graves, he usually performs pretty okay, but I think he kind of feels uncomfortable on champions like Kindred, like Trundle, a lot of the meta champions. I'm surprised he didn't just blind pick Lee Sin, because I think when he's on his comfort champions, he's really, really good. But when he's off them, he's not really anything special. Like I just feel like I'm just playing the game. Like I don't really worry about it too much.
And moving into semifinals next week, Cloud9 Academy actually gets to choose between you and FlyQuest on who they're going to face. Do you want Cloud9 Academy to choose you?
I kind of do, just because it would be super fun to play against all my ex-teammates on Cloud9. Like, but at the same time, I know they're probably one of the strongest teams, so it's kind of like, but I'm pretty sure we could take them down if they did choose us. So I'm down for either or, you know.
Well, I'm wishing you the best of luck in that. Congratulations again. And for more, back to the casters.
Thank you very much, Awali. At this point, he knows he's moving on, and that's what feels good. So there were lots of great plays made on the Rift in this match, but today, Fallen Bandit had the breakout performance and earned Player of the Series. So much top lane prowess.
Yeah, and it was a back-and-forth game, or series for him, where he had 2 wins on Mundo, but also broke out the Rumble, which was a really big factor in their win that they had in Game 4. Great job frontlining, and then in this game, the final one, the fact that he survived through that first gank and played it so perfectly and then found a kill of his own, completely shutting down the split push cannon, which was a large focus of 100 Thieves' final comp, really enabled them to smash that game, and just a huge factor in this team and a big reason for their turnaround since Spring Split, one of the guys who has really individually improved and leveled up.
Absolutely. In that last game, I think up to 4 or 5 kills. I know he was 3-0-1 with 400% kill participation, so it just kept going up. He was everywhere. Things were being brought to him, but also the fact that he was absorbing so much, I think, also made it such a great play for the top side. And I'm sure CLG has to be incredibly happy with how they adapted in picks and bans, but also, you know, tried what they thought was going to work 2 games in a row and were able to kind of diversify from that. I think that's a big learning thing.
Yeah, I think you heard about how there were some things they had to adapt to in the series. 1 being the Rakan pick not working out. 2, the Lee Sin working out once, but not working out again, so not tunneling on it. And then I think as well as the fact that in a 5-game series, you know, everyone's going to step up at different points. So Wiggly had some really good jungle games. Tuesday had dominated his lane matchup a fair amount in times that he got the favorable lane matchup. In the bot lane for Otto and Phil, most of the time was focused on them going even in the matchup and then having really great team fighting later, especially in that last game. You know, Otto ends up being by far the strongest member of the team, as the comp should have it be. And so this was a really team win.
So how do you then, moving forward, if you're Cloud9, if you were going to play against these guys, how do you kind of, before we move forward real quick, dissect CLG? Do you take away the Tom? Do you take away the Trundle? Definitely take away the Mundo? Quick idea.
The Mundo is the one that's the big standout for me, and I think you can kind of take it from there. Just every time that he gets that champion, it feels like the entire team is given so much space in team fights to run forward and be aggressive. And there's a lot of young, enthusiastic players who want to get in there and fight, and the Mundo pick lets them do that.
You got to hear it here. Take away CLG's Mundo aura for the
9 and 11. That's a good win rate.
It's a very good win rate. So with quarterfinals complete, let's take a look at our updated bracket. FlyQuest and CLG Academy were our victors this week, which means they'll face off next week against Cloud9 and Team Liquid Academy, depending on how the games are chosen. As the higher seed, Cloud9 was able to choose their opponent and selected FlyQuest. So there you go. Which means CLG Academy will face Liquid Academy next Thursday at 3 p.m. And that's the game that not Wiggly wanted, but Wiggly wanted, so you kind of get it. He doesn't get to play against his teammates, but they get to move on.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. The TL or CLG game is going to be such a big rivalry match between these guys.
Absolutely. So if that's too long to wait, don't fret. The NALCS returns tomorrow for Week 9. We start the day with Echo Fox playing for the first round bye up against Team Liquid. Then Optic and TSM battle for a playoff berth in Game 3. I think everybody's been kind of wondering, with Optic's strength of schedule, how will they pan out and who moves up if they move down?
I mean, that's probably the most important match of the year for TSM, and I wish that was hyperbole, but if they lose that match, the chance that they make playoffs is close to 0, which means they do not make Worlds, which is unthinkable for such a storied franchise.
Very much so. And do not forget that coming right up is a rebroadcast of this morning's EULCS matches. Catch those in just a moment and then tune into their live Day 2 game starting at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Central European Time. That's going to close out the first round of the Academy postseason. Now, on behalf of myself, Mark, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the semifinals.
Oh my God, Tony Gray.
Salute Tony.
Tony.
Oh. Hit him with the Tony salute.
It's 2 tones.
It's a Tony salute.
We're doing this one for Tone, boys.
Look.
I got it. Yeah.
I'm okay. Get it. Science star.
Nice. I'm coming.
Right.
See hope.
Oh, we got him.
Okay. Ori. I'm winning outside.
Show's coming.
Brandini says thank you. I'll have another, sir. Fallen Bandit, the tankiest one, going down first.
We're not fighting. I think I kill it.
Okay, Ori, sorry move. Got him. Walk to me. Right now.
Can you do it?
I can arrow.
Okay,
I'm arrowing.
Nice.
Nice.
We got him. Look after. Take it. Get the flash.
Insanity leaves the Lamb's Respite. It's going to be Brandini and Levi going down immediately as CLG just suffocate 100 Thieves.
This is guaranteed going to game 4, boys.
There is no flashes in the mid lane anymore.
Yeah.
King 6 is going to try and use the ult.
Oh, he hits him under the turret. What a play from Linsanity.
Making play on me. Making play on me.
Flashing. Oh, I can't.
Oh, you're good.
I'm coming now. I'm coming.
Oh.
Just over 10,000 gold lead. The Horn is blown, and Tuesday's on the front line and gets deleted.
A little broken.
Let's just try our best to win and believe.
We're fighting back. Okay,
I can look for TP. Rumble behind you.
Oh, he died. Good job.
Yeah, but it's not going to be unanswered as in the mid lane we got the action.
Drawn together.
Galio.
I'm gonna look at Zaya.
Okay.
I got Zaya.
Nice. Galio.
It's good.
Yeah, the backline's still alive though, so it's a little difficult. They'll finally get on to Levi, which allows them to continue to chase down onto Ricard. It's going to be a clean ace.
Nice.
Game 5, baby. Let's go.
Under the turret goes CLG, and down goes Levi. 2 kills in favor of CLG. A possible third. Auto flashes forward.
I can look. Oh, I got Israel.
Win this.
I got Israel.
Nice. All right, bang. Go back.
CLG are sitting pretty to deliver the damage on this fight. In goes Auto, out goes Linsanity. And now they're going to do the finishing touches. Stunts on the backside, Auto in for a triple.
Go!
The 5 rookies push through. Victory for Counter Logic Gaming Academy.